from education and the Millennium Development projects this year.
The new board, since its institution, has been fashioning out strategies to make SADA achieve its objectives.
For an institution that is built for the long run, it is established not to solve problems, just today's problem, but to put the systems in place so as to transform the Northern Savannah ecological zone. So review our ways of working, learning the lessons, from the problems the institution had.
The health sector alone will employ about 3,000 workers by the end of this year.
Especially those coming freshly out of the tertiary schools, the universities, the polytechnics, and so on, and place them across the communities. Of these 3,000, 1,200 will be employed and placed in the SADA zone, and 1,800 would be deployed in Ashanti region and Brong-Ahafo region.
Already, some 67 retired midwives have been employed to serve in the SADA MVP communication healthcare system. The authority has again targeted employing some 1,000 people in the education sector.
Early next year is a teacher training program to employ young people or to take existing teachers who are not trained and develop a training program and a package that will enable them to become competent teachers.
A development expert, Jeffrey Sachs, says a major restructuring of SADA's development path is crucial.
This would be a region more difficult to develop. It's not an accident that SADA has lagged behind. There are structural challenges, geographical challenges, climate and resource challenges, and so I think it has to be taken into account in a very accurate and basic way. I do want to give you a little bit of my perspective of the challenges here and the ideas and get your suggestions and advice and feedback.
In other stories, energy analyst Ishmael Ajekumhene says government's failure to fix the microeconomy would result in another utility tariff increase by July 1. He explained the continuous depreciation of the cedi and government's need for revenue as reasons for the anticipated hikes.
Utility tariffs are adjusted every quarter by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. On March 31, PURC increased electricity tariffs by 2.63% and 1.06% for water for the second quarter. PURC is expected to review utility tariffs for the third quarter, effective July 1. PURC has stated that the factors considered in computing the automatic formula adjustment are the exchange rate, inflation, fuel mix, generation mix, power purchase cost, chemical cost, and electricity cost. Energy analyst Ishmael Ajekumhene says Ghanaians should expect an increment due to the depreciating cedi.
Electricity is an economic product. It has input costs, and ultimately you have to put everything together and say that this is how much is supposed to be sold. The truth of the matter is that tariffs will have to go up because, if not for any reason, the cedi is depreciating very fast.
Ishmael Ajekumhene is of the view the utilities need revenue to deal with the crisis.
As a consumer, I don't want to pay too much, but the truth of the matter is that whoever is producing electricity will have to cover the cost. In the past, the government has said, okay, you can't charge this, but I'll pick the difference. And the government ends up not paying. And that's where we are. So it will have to go up. And that puts the responsibility on the government to fix the macroeconomy.
Now, the Volta River Authority has added 100 megawatts more to the national grid following the resumption of operations of the Tiku thermal plant at Aboase in Takrady. Now, this has reduced the power deficit to about 200 megawatts during peak hours.
The Electricity Company of Ghana in January this year began a 24-hour load shedding exercise, which was attributed to the shortfall of power supply in the country. Currently, 100 megawatts of power has been added to the national grid due to the operations of the TICO thermal plants at Abuazi. This has reduced the power deficit to about 200 megawatts during peak hours. The rainy season in the northern region is yet to start for the Akonsombo and Bui hydro dams to begin receiving some inflows. Some owners of small-scale businesses also admit the power supply has improved.
Of late, there's improvement, much improvement, yes. About 4-5 days before it goes off. Yes.
From February coming, it was so bad, but this from last month and this month, there's improvement.
It used to be 24 hours, no light, but of late, you get the light off for 12 hours, and then by the next 12 hours, you get the lights coming on.
Government has assured of an additional 1,000 megawatts of power to the national grid from emergency plans to reduce the crisis in the short term. But energy analyst Ishmael Ejukumheni says for the past 6 months, government has not been able to bring in any of the emergency plans.
Yes, we see some improvements, and there are times that you expect your lights to go off, they don't. So in that sense, it's better than when this thing started intensifying. And my worry is that in terms of concrete actions as to solving this permanently, as we are being told, I'm not too sure I've seen or heard enough.
The analyst is of the view the power crisis could continue till next year.
It's now time for us to move to Ashaiman, where the police have pounced on traders in and around the area. Now the details of the story: some traders who have illegally encroached on the compound near the Ashaiman Division Police Station and the barracks have been evicted by the police. Now the operation was to restore sanity in the environment.
From one shed to the other, this compound near the Ashaiman Police Station and Barrack has been converted into a brisk market area. Charcoal sellers occupy a larger part of the compound while hawkers and other traders competed for the rest of the space. Another night market opposite the police station was also spilled onto the streets. The Ashaiman police say several notices to city authorities to take action had not word compelling them to undertake the operation on Friday morning.